KVNU Game Day continues with Aggie Call. Your chance to talk about today's game. Sponsored by Alpine Home Medical, Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning, Les Olson Company, Jarek's Fine Jewelry, My Mattress, Elements Restaurant, Cache Valley Bank, Castelite, Daryl's Appliance, Advanced Fireplace and Stove, Cache Valley Ear, Nose and Throat, White Pine Funeral Home, S.E. Needham Jewelers, and LSS Insurance. KVNU Game Day with Al Lewis and John Russell.
Oh, it is sweet tonight for the Aggies. Don't let it go to the last possession or two of the game. The Aggies started the second half with a 13-2 run after leading almost all the first half and finished the game on a 13-2 run and beat the San Diego State Aztecs as bad as anybody has beaten them. The final score is 75-57. The Aggies win the game. John Russell, San Diego State's given up 70 points once this year. That was to Michigan, and we scored 75 tonight. And if we would have shot half as of some of these shots in other games, who knows where we'd be. But this team knows they can get to the finish line in this conference tournament, later on. And they're starting to build towards that. That was a big win.
A huge win, and a lot of good wins earlier in the year. You know, we talked about going back east and winning some games and beating big programs. This is the best win of the year.
It is the best win of the year. And Oklahoma's close, but this one means a lot more because it stopped the losing streak. I mean, we've talked about it, the worst conference start the Aggies have ever had. Lots of things going on in this one. Jalen Moore, you have to be, as a former Aggie, satisfied. You were right on. We had to make some three-pointers. We did turn it over a little bit, but you know what? Boy, did we shoot the ball tonight like we think we can shoot the ball all year long.
Yeah, it was like you said, it's great for our team to get back rolling. We look good. This is the best we've looked in a while now. And we shot the ball like we're capable of doing. We rebounded it again. We assisted. We played. We made cuts. We did everything. It's weird because we kind of did everything that we said we needed to do before the game started. We went out. We did it. We got a huge win. We go to 2-5. Huge momentum boost going into Nevada. And I think our guys just needed to play a game like this, see a game like this where they shot better, went back to playing like they did at the old times and earlier this season. Even though we have some injuries right now, that's the best our team has looked, and I know they feel good about it, and we needed that big win.
You know what we did tonight, too, that was a key thing that's kind of understated? We got Mensah in foul trouble early first half. He couldn't play. He came in there with 4 fouls and did block a couple of shots when the game was still on the line there late, but finally we took him out of the game, and that's a big part of their defense, not having him.
Yeah, it is definitely. I thought we did a good job. I thought we did a good job of getting him in foul trouble, making him have to work defensively. We didn't let him just sit around the rim and be a shot blocker. I think he leads the conference in shot blocks per game. So, having him off the court is obviously an advantage for us. Made it a little bit easier for us to get to the rim. And, like we said, we were driving and kicking. In this game, we were finally making our threes from the outside.
Jalen, such a solid performance all night long. And what was great is I don't think Bean had his first bucket until probably like 8 or 10 minutes into the game. You saw other guys.
It made it 12-10, broke the tie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so, the other guys really stepped up. Just talk about how important it is that you get this team performance.
Yeah, it is really important. Just if you look at that game, you lose that game, you go to 1-6 in conference. And that's hard to come back from, going down a lot like that. We have a lot of games in about 11 days. I think we have a couple makeup games. This is just a great start. We needed to get in this win. I think it was big for our confidence because we finally did all the little things that we needed to, and it showed to our team and a lot of our fans and the coaches as well that, we were just a few plays away from having a totally different record in conference and that we can play with every team so far. We had our chances there to beat Colorado State, who was picked to win it. San Diego State was looking really good. We had our chances to beat them. We had our chance to beat Boise State. Those are the three teams at the top of the Mountain West at the moment, as well as Wyoming. And we had our chances to beat all those teams, but we just couldn't capitalize. In this game, it showcased and showed everyone that, hey, our team does have what it takes to capitalize on those moments and beat those good teams.
One of the things I give Jalen credit for is, he doesn't know what questions I'm throwing at him. Heck, half the time I don't know what I'm throwing at him. But Jalen, to be honest, coming into this game, I was beginning to wonder if the Aggies had an identity, if they knew who they were. One, do you agree with that? And two, what does this game do for the team as far as their individual identity?
Yeah, I think they were struggling with that a little bit. Like Coach Odom said, we know we were missing pieces, so it's kind of hard when you're missing some key pieces to really find out the team that you're going to be when you're supposed to still be getting better, And when we were getting better, we lost some of those key pieces. So I think that kind of hurt our team. Our guys are struggling a little bit. I think the coaches even said it and the players saw it. We were playing a little bit more iso ball than as much team ball. And this game, it looked like we were getting back to the team that we saw at the beginning of the year that was beating Richmond and Oklahoma, a lot of cuts, making open threes, assisting on a lot of plays, not turning the ball over that much. Our defense was on point. We drew a lot of charges, and I thought those were just things that we were doing at the beginning of the season. And so as for our team now, like I said, I think it's just huge for them to show that they can beat the teams at the top of the conference, let alone be one of the teams at the top.
One of the keys to the game was handling their physicality, their athleticism, and I thought the Aggies did a great job with the press. What were your thoughts? What did you see tonight regarding that?
Yeah, I thought we handled the press really well. It was nice having even Barstow, Shoga, and Idle Rock. They showed a little bit of confidence bringing the ball up, no panic really. I like the fact that Horvath and Bean can also handle the ball. It's not very likely that a 4-man or a 5-man gets up and pressures the other 4 or 5 full court. So having them being able to handle the ball, I think, helps us ease the pressure off. They can get a defensive board and bring it up themselves, so takes makes it a little bit easier for Ashworth, gives them a little bit of a break. But I thought for the most part, our team handled the press and the pressure the best that they had so far this season.
Jalen, all the time when you've been around Aggie basketball, when you were a player, and last little while, we've always assumed Utah State was going to win the rebound battle in games. Tonight, they're down 1 rebound at the half. They out-rebound them 23-8 in the second half. San Diego State is number 2 in the nation in offensive rebounds. They had 0 offensive rebounds in the game tonight. That is huge because those are easy points. And I think we had 8 or 9 offensive rebounds. And I know Horvath, Bean, I can think off the top of my head, even RJ got one. We got baskets off of second chances.
Yeah, and that was huge. Like we said, those are those extra possessions that you usually don't plan on necessarily getting against a team like San Diego State. And we ended up getting 9 extra possessions, which is huge because I think for the most part we capitalized on those. When you out-rebound them by 14, you're doing a great job. They only have 21 rebounds total as a team, and I think they were averaging around 37, 38. So we did a super good job, and they didn't do that great a job of keeping us off the boards. And I like the aggression. We went back to that aggressive style that Bean and Horvath have, where they crash the O boards and get extra possessions for us.
And that Matt Bradley's pretty good individually as a player, isn't he? The guy for San Diego State. He can shake and bake you.
He's got a really nice game.
He really does, the transfer. Your keys to the game. Win the rebound battle was one of them. Less than 12 turnovers. Aggies did get 15 of those. But shoot better than 25% from 3. How about 42%, which is getting back where we saw this team. They made 10 threes tonight. They have just needed this so badly. That hopefully will loosen up this team for a run of games that they're going to have to be ready to play. Hopefully we will maybe get Ryland Jones back maybe on the weekend or into next week sometime. Brock Miller next month. I mean, we had really 7 guys who played tonight, and all 7 of them really contributed in the game.
Yeah, we looked really good. I thought it was our best game in a while. Even though we were hanging on the edge of those other games and could have won, had our chances. This is a full game from start to finish. 2 good halves. Like we said, we pretty much outplay them in every spot of the game. It's just we got back to the game and the team that we're used to seeing them play, and we're seeing the guys that we are used to seeing, and it looked good. And like your team's not going to get worse when you add in Brock and Ryland. They're going to do their thing and come back, and I think that's going to make us stronger. And this was just a win that we needed against a top-tier team and most likely an NCAA team. That shows you that you can compete with everybody, and it's huge momentum going into the weekend of another game that it's possible for us to go into Nevada and win.
And not leave it to the end of the game. The Aggies run away. Again, it's 68-57 with a minute and a half to go, and they outscore them again 7-0 to finish the game and took it away. Jalen, thanks for joining with us. Get ready for Saturday night. We'll talk to you about 7 o'clock for the 8 o'clock game against Nevada, okay?
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate Jalen Moore. Riverwoods Conference Center is the center of Cache Valley for business, entertainment, and small events. They brought you Jalen's post-game comments and his keys to the game post-game. That was a terrific win tonight by Utah State. And, again, they deserve it. They've needed it. They've had so many close chances where they had to feel snake bit, like we can't make plays. They did not let this one get to the end. They put a stamp on it there when you kind of felt like things were slipping a bit at the last media timeout. It's 62-55. Bradley's coming on. We're starting to miss some shots and all of that. So Ashworth gets up, makes 2 free throws after the media timeout, and then we just took it to him right away.
Well, I think that's the thing that I'm most proud about the team is the fact that there was that stretch coming into that last media timeout where things kind of got out of hand. I think they were on a 9-0 run.
We were up, going to the second to last media timeout. It was 55-40. All of a sudden, going to the last one, 62-55. See, that's quite a difference there.
Big difference, and it would have been based on how things have gone this year. It would have been easy for that doubt to creep into their minds. Hey, here
they make
we go
a basket,
again.
We get a stop. They make it, and all of a sudden it's back to a one-possession game and all that.
And yet they stayed with it. I think we've got a lot of time to talk about this, but. What a great performance, a team performance.
Yes.
That's how the Aggies win.
And that's the way you do. And Bean, again, an inspirational leader, but look at the moments Bairstow had in the second half after playing horribly and getting foul trouble first half. Look at what R.J. Idlerock did in the second half and played horrible first half. Look what Ashworth did in the first half. Look what Horvath did after he made a couple of blunders with turnovers and everything. All of a sudden he comes back and steals and dunks and rebounds. And then Bean, of course, is there with 13 and 13. So Aggies win it tonight, 75-57. Calls 753-5868. Text is 435-339-0321 is the text line number for post-game game day of the Aggies, again winning tonight over San Diego State.
This is Dave Simmons for Les Olson Company. Every great team knows that you have to train to stay on top of your game. Even top players continue to practice the fundamentals. That's why Les Olson Company offers free IT security awareness training so your business can stop threats before they become a problem. Learn what to do in case of a suspected phishing attack. Don't take risks. Take action with the Les Olson Security Suite. Get your free network assessment at lesolson.com.
What's more important than sleep? Granted, some things are, but not many. This is Ryan at My Mattress, and here we offer the best solution to better sleep, a better mattress. IntelliBed, the gel mattress, cradles your hips and shoulders while providing the best back support possible. Or come in and choose a Tempur-Pedic that boasts 93% of their owners love their bed. My Mattress, offering the best sleep possible by the South Walmart.
Cache Valley Bank's newest branch is now open in Preston. I'm Lance Zollinger, and I'm excited to announce Cache Valley Bank is now open inside Stokes Marketplace. If you're an existing customer, you'll love the convenience. If you're not a customer, we'd love to have you open a new account with us, or even talk with us about a loan for your farm or business. Cache Valley Bank, a community bank where decisions are still made locally, now open in Preston. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
West Point Dairy Products at Hiram is hiring. West Point Dairy Products has been manufacturing high-quality butter for over 25 years in Cache Valley. They're currently expanding and want you on their growing team. West Point Dairy Products offers competitive wages for entry-level positions starting at $18 per hour, full benefit packages, double time on Sundays, a $2,000 sign-on bonus, and tremendous opportunities for growth. For immediate consideration, call Express Employment Professionals at 435-213-9595.
Aggies win, yes, tonight. It's 75-57. A caller, a good friend of mine, called in, John, and he said he wonders what Brian Dutcher will be bemoaning about tonight because he said for 3 years or whatever, Sam Merrill, all this stuff, and now tonight it was a team that demolished his team in the Spectrum tonight. Again, we've now beaten them 3 straight times in the Spectrum. With that run.
Yeah, yep. And what a great team performance. That's what you saw tonight. We will have lots of time. We have lots of texts. Again, 339-0321. But this just kind of falls in line with that. And this comes from 6543. San Diego has good individual players, but they're not a good team. We'll be surprised to see them in the NCAA. Not sure about that.
We saw a little bit of the Baker Manzera guy do some offensively, but Bradley's their offense. They really struggle in a lot of other areas.
They're not a great team.
They are
with the team effort.
They can be a really good defensive team.
And so, that's what kind of made tonight so special. The Aggies kind of putting things together the way they do, and really you can go down the lineup and everybody on this team really made a difference. Everybody contributed. I mean, you went through the starting lineup, but you look at Shulga. He was so solid tonight. Trevin Dorius
came in and immediately took over the game with those plays he made.
And you even look at Z Hamuda, who came in. He only played a little bit, but he made a couple of plays.
Moved the ball around.
Moved the ball, didn't make any big mistakes. Great team effort.
James wants to join with us. I think we've had James on before, but we've talked about some close losses. But, James, how about the blowout of San Diego State tonight by the Aggies on Aggie Call?
Oh, my gosh, guys. It's so fun when they win. I absolutely loved it. Hey, I just need your opinion or your I got a question for you. What was the deal with the flop? I didn't understand that. I'm not sure what the rules are on that, but so confusing. Can you explain that to me?
Well, basically this year they've decided to they give you one warning that's a flop warning. They gave the Aggies 2. They could have given San Diego State 2 or 3. They did not.
Oh my gosh!
And then there, we might have been guilty of one more later in the game that we didn't get. But you get one warning, and then the next time it's a technical foul if you're acting like the acting part of it all. And again, let's face it, with offensive fouls, I think the officials need to watch more. The biggest thing I think they need to watch is shoulder and elbow and arm into a guy, and those were some of the. But it is a flop warning, and that's a technical foul if you get a second one after the first.
Now, the first one, though, they actually rescinded, and I didn't see why, Al. Maybe you caught that.
And I don't know exactly why eventually they went back and rescinded it either, because I don't know. I guess they can go look at the tape, and maybe they just say, whoa, we blew that. We should have called a foul. We can't go back and call a foul. Although, remember, in the San Diego State-Utah State game in the tournament a long time ago, they reversed a foul call and gave it to the big Lou Evans. When he looked like he'd been fouled, they'd called the foul on them, and then they reversed it on replay, and they said they could do that. I don't think you can. Yeah. So, but they did rescind the one on Ashworth early in the basketball.
So that's why after the second one, it wasn't a technical.
And it's also, I don't know if it's a team deal or an individual deal. It might be a team deal.
I think it's a team.
I think it's a team deal.
Situation.
Yeah, I think it is. Anything else, James?
Yeah, no, I agree with you guys. What a great team effort. And loved how they just finished it off strong. Like you said, you got a little nervous when they got within 7 there down the stretch, but they hung in there. It's just a great win. Thanks.
It is.
Really
Thank you. Thanks, James, for joining with us on Aggie Call. And our number is 753-5868. But how about the text line more? 339-0321.
Yeah, we got a whole slew of them coming through.
Let's pause for a second. It is the top of the hour, and we'll be right back.
610 AM and 102 FM.
Best part of my day.
News Talk KVNU, Logan. Proud to be locally owned and operated by the Cache Valley Media Group.
And proud to be, again, your station locally that you can hear for pregame, postgame, and doing as much coverage of the Aggies as we can. Aggies are 11-9 now, 2-5 in conference play. They prove they can play with everybody in the league, and they did beat one of the better teams. In fact, this is the program of the last 14 years in this conference is the San Diego State Aztecs, and the Aggies win going away 75-57 is the final score. Everybody in the conference has got to be going, whoa.
Yeah. No, I think the rest of the conference knows this was coming.
But again, that's amazing. Okay,
it is.
Now let's go to the text.
So first of all, we have the best listeners, and it's why the best listeners turn to us for post-game call-in shows, and we appreciate them. 2070 right off the bat. Why was that first one pulled away? He said Ashworth got hit in the face, and the official didn't call it.
And he did get hit in the face, too, so maybe they went back and saw the contact there, and that's the reason why he went down like he did.
Actually elbowed in the face. It says it wasn't a flop. It was a legit smack to the face. So thank you, 2070. 9315, Horvath looked like the player he should be. Also, we hit our threes. Go Aggies.
Absolutely. The three-point shot, 19% we were going into conference play. going into this game tonight. And in conference, it was 19%. And tonight the Aggies hit 10 of 24, I think it was.
And a good thing to consider, this comes from 93-10, great game. And it wasn't like San Diego had a horrible game. Great win versus a good team. San Diego State shot 50% from the field.
They did.
Aggies did a good job controlling the game and making sure things went well. Let me see here. And then we've got, this comes from 58-79. For that flop call, Ashworth went back to the ref and showed him the mark on his face, and they reversed the call.
And that's why during the break they did go back do it and rescinded the flop. So that's why we only had the one when RJ got the one, I think, called against him. And then really San Diego State could have had a couple called against them tonight, and they got away with them. So
well, it's hard to tell because you see a lot of these flop calls, and they're going to try and draw the call. There's no doubt about it. But I've seen them where the guys put a shoulder in. It's like you were just saying, whether it's the shoulder or the arm. At what point is that contact a flop? At what point is a charge? I think the officials, we've had a rough stretch of games officiating. I think for the most part tonight it was a well-officiated game.
Yeah, they missed the one play where that Baker Mazzara went inside and it went off of him out of bounds, and they called a foul on us, and nobody touched it, and we grabbed the ball, and then he had kicked it off his knee out of bounds. Should have been our basketball. That was still at a time when the game was to be decided, so that was a key play that didn't go our way.
What I also liked is they let the Aggies and the Aztecs play.
For the most part. Yeah, there was not a lot of that going on, and again, not a ton of fouls called. And really, again, Mensa was the only guy, I think, who ended up getting in foul trouble at all in the game. Aggies had Shulga with 3, Bairstow with 3. Bairstow had 2 in the first half. And San Diego State did have one other guy. Butler had 3. Mensa had 4. There were only 30 fouls called in this game, as physical and as hard-nosed as it was for the teams. 49% for us and 49% for them. So, again, it's not like. But San Diego State doesn't give up 32 points in the first half and 46 in the second half. Or 43 in the second half to get to 76.
Yeah, the Aggies really came out, played well, executed their offense. Defensively, I thought they played extremely well. One thing I want to go back to that I was going to bring up that you and Jalen were talking about, no offensive rebounds for San Diego State. That just goes to show how tough, how focused the Aggies were on keeping the boards clean.
Well, when they're a great offensive rebounding team and they protect the glass, that's where San Diego State wins games. Is they know that you're going to they can't give you stuff inside. And look at points in the paint by the end of the game. Aggies have 32. They have 26. So. That's a big part of the game.
If you were a betting man, and
besides making the 10 threes, and getting the points still in the paint. All right, Aggies win it tonight again, going away in the last few minutes. Again, the final 75-57 over San Diego State. A heck of a win, and we're back with more of post-game game day. Phone calls, 753-KBNU. Texts are available at 339-0321. We'll get more to that text line in just a moment on game day. Brought to you in part by the Les Olson Company. Get that free network assessment from lesolson.com. And also brought to you by Daryl's Appliance. The no-risk extended warranty is there. If you don't use it, after 5 years, they'll give your money back. Their warranties do cover it all. No crazy copays. Daryl's with the best appliances and the best warranty. And it's game day on KVNU, and the Aggies win.
Ascent Aesthetics is a premier aesthetic practice. Doctors Benyon, Blotter, and Robinette of Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat are proud to offer you a professional aesthetics team. The Ascent team is passionate about education, best techniques, products, procedures, and services. If you're looking for help with Botox, fillers, microneedling, laser hair removal, medical-grade facials, or skincare, Ascent will help you feel confident, beautiful, and refreshed. See which Ascent service is right for you and learn more at AscentAesthetics.com. That's AscentAesthetics.com.
Are you ready for Valentine's kisses and wishes? It's time to make your Valentine's Day reservation for the Sweethearts Buffet at the Riverwoods Conference Center on Saturday, February 12th. Experience a fun night of live music and a delicious selection of carving station entrees that include garlic rosemary prime rib, terry smoked pork loin, and herb roasted turkey. It wouldn't be Valentine's without a decadent dessert bar filled with all your favorite dreamy sweets. Now, as for the kisses, better make your reservation today. Riverwoods Conference Center. Call 750-5151. 750-5151.
This is James Stevens with White Pine Funeral Services. We often hear people say, I wish I could use White Pine, but I've already paid for arrangements elsewhere. Know that if you've already pre-planned with a different funeral home, you can still call White Pine. If you are being told you'll lose up to 25% of your money, White Pine will provide a discount equal to any fee for switching. If you have any questions, please stop by for a visit or give us a call. We would love to meet you and explain in more detail.
White Pine Funeral Services, here when you need us most.
Cold weather is here. Let the gold medal winner in the Best of Northern Utah's fireplace category help you update your home with Napoleon's full line of gas or wood-burning products. Building a new home? Let the professionals at Advanced Fireplace and Stove design and install your fireplace. From traditional to modern, Napoleon has something for every design and every budget. Install a product that will allow your family to make memories for years to come. Stop by at their showroom or visit them at advancedfireplaceandstove.com.
It's KVNU Game Day with Aggie Call. Call 753-KVNU or 800-369-KVNU.
Well, Lewis, John Russell here, and all you Aggie fans in the Valley and in the area listening to KVNU, we're going to hear from, again, probably at least one player, if not a couple players, and Coach Odom coming up here shortly. Jake Ellis will get that for us from the Spectrum tonight. Bairstow with 10, Ashworth 17, Bean 13, Horvath 12, Idle Rock 7, Shulga had 8, Dorius had 8. Zamota did play the 5 minutes in the first half, missed a shot but had an assist, and the Aggies again do it with that group tonight. They were outscored by the bench of San Diego State 23-16. That's because that's where Baker Mazzara came off the bench and had 15 for them. Again, 19 for Matt Bradley. He had 8 for 12 shots. It seemed like he missed more than 4 shots.
Yeah, it sure did.
It seems like maybe they called some of those turnovers or something. I don't know. It seemed like especially after he had a little stretch there, boy, was he tough with a couple of those things, bringing them back during that period of time after we got up by 15.
But also, what I think one of the key parts of the game is he came down. This was late in the game. He was feeling like he was on a roll, and he kind of tapped himself on the chest and said, "This is mine." Ended up taking a shot.
Yep.
Missed
they
it.
had made
That's when
5 straight shots at that time is what I wrote down when he missed that shot.
When he did,
and after that, they never made a basket, and Bradley made 2 free throws. That's it.
Real momentum killer.
In the last 4 minutes, they didn't make a basket. They got the 2 free throws. That's it in this basketball game. So interesting game with stretches. Aggies start 8-2. Then it's back to a couple ties. We actually had one tie at 10-10. That was the only tie of the game. But it went back and forth, the lead 4 times there in the first half. The Aggies finally took the lead. Let's see. Never gave it back up after 24-22 on a Shulga three-pointer in the first half. Utah State was never behind the rest of the game. It was a 1-point game at the half. And, again, there's huge stats that show you about San Diego State. And in the game tonight, they 62 of the last 66 they've won if they lead at the half. They trailed by 1. 63 of the last 65 games, they've had a higher field goal percentage to win. And the Aggies shot a higher field goal percentage, and that's why the Aggies won it. They have the best road record, I think 3rd best in all of college basketball in the last 10 or 12 years, 8th best winning percentage. So, again, it's not easy to beat them anywhere. And the Aggies have now got 3 straight on this floor against the Aztecs with the 2 last year.
Yeah. Well, to me, the biggest number, and we knew this coming into the game, Aggies were 1-5 in conference coming into this game.
Had never been that bad.
Yeah, never had been that bad. But in this game, up to that point, we had shot 19%. 21 for 109 from beyond the arc. Tonight, the Aggies come back, and you and Jalen talked about this. They had to shoot well, but 41%, 10 for 24 beyond the arc. There's that, and again, I'm sorry, I'm just still stunned. No offensive rebounds for San Diego State.
That's a terrific
There's
stat.
your game.
And, okay, in 6 conference games coming into today, we had made 21 total threes.
Yeah.
In one game, we make 10 threes. Yeah. The last time the Aggies made a 10 3-point game, let me go back and look at the Aggie stats for the season. The last time we made 10 threes in a game was against Portland State when we made 12. Before that, we made 15 against Weber, 13 against New Orleans, 10 against BYU, 10 against Carroll College, 12 against Arlington, 14 against New Mexico State. So look at all the times that it happened. The highest we made in the conference, Wyoming, was 6 for 26. Yeah. And I think, remember, at the start of that game and the start of the Boise State game, we made 2 of our first 3 or 3 of our first 5 or something, and then really cooled off. And tonight, didn't really cool off. which was great.
And you could tell it was such a relief for the players. I mean, with each one, you could see them, give a little fist pump. And Max Shulga, when he hit his first, I was afraid he was going to dislocate his shoulder.
And that's the one that gave us the lead the rest of the night.
Yeah.
We were never behind after that.
And he was just so excited
about 7:16 to play. But again, I was telling you during the break, at practice, I saw Coach Odom running this outside offense that they were running where they kept moving and moving and moving, and what they're looking for is cutters getting back, and we saw that a couple of times work. You just eventually you move that fast enough because you have to move against San Diego State. You can't hold the ball, and we didn't get in that position hardly at all tonight where we were just all of a sudden trapped with the ball and couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah. One of Jalen's keys was a turnover, and I think he said he wanted to keep it to 12. We had 15, but you know what? I'm okay with that. They had 15 as well, and none of the I'm just such a huge believer. It's the turnovers that swing momentum, and even though we had turnovers, none of them, San Diego State wasn't able to capitalize on them.
They got a couple of them that kind of brought them back a little. 16 points off of turnovers for us, 12 for them. So we actually were +4 there.
So we took advantage of all those things. I was telling you this off air. I think this might have been one of the best coached games of the year, and what Coach Odom did.
And what did he say after the last game? I still have confidence in these guys. We're going to stay together. We're going to get it done. We've got this little season within a season we're going to start playing. Yeah. And now, again, look at the run. They're going to play, starting with Nevada. They play 5 games in like 11 days. That's like even worse than the NBA is nowadays. It used to be the way in the NBA, but they spread it out more than that now for those guys.
I think one of the things that'll give them confidence in this is what San Diego State does. And their players just come in waves. It seemed like every time there was a horn, they had 3 guys coming in, 2 guys, 3.
And they all look about the same.
And they all look the same.
They're all built. They got that physical side.
And the Aggies really only had 2 bench players. Z played for 5 minutes, but Shulga and Dorius both played. They were pretty close to 20 minutes.
19 for Shulga and 17 Dorius.
So you really have to appreciate what Coach did. Not only being able to deal with that constant wave of players coming from San Diego State, but keeping his guys fresh.
And when the game got a little bit close in the second half, San Diego State only had 1 timeout left because they had burned the one, and when they got that one loose ball, the guy decided they'd used a bunch of their timeouts, and so they were in a little bit of trouble there,
Let's go back to the herd, though. The herd tonight was phenomenal. I'll be honest, I was a little concerned coming into the game. Cold night, middle of the week. They
relish the later night TV games, and they always have.
And they loved it, and they were on fire. Hats off to them.
Hats off to the herd. Again, some great plays tonight made in the game. And again, we had some rock-solid players tonight from Castellite, your place for rock and block and brick and pavers and tiles. We appreciate Castellite.com for sponsoring our Aggie post-game coverage and pregame coverage. Again, game day on KVNU celebrates 75-57 Aggie win tonight. Again, to get to 2-5 now in conference play. And Nevada's coming up. Nevada had a halftime lead on Colorado State, played very well in the first half last night. Then all of a sudden, the second half, they just kind of Colorado State got on it, and they never responded. Sherfield struggled a little bit with his shooting. He's scary because he can get going. Cambridge can get going. They've got some guys on this team. They got some size and length, too, at Nevada. And it will be at Nevada, and they just lost their last game, so they're going to be wanting it. It's 3-3 is where they are in conference play. We're now 2-5 with this victory tonight and playing there on Saturday night at 8 o'clock. And it looks like now it was Coach Odom that is the first that we will hear from tonight. So let's get right to the coach. And the coach postgame from the Spectrum is brought to you by Jarek's Fine Jewelry tonight. The place everybody knows, Jarek's, as an engagement ring store, but they also do lots of other things, so make it special, make it Jarek's. And Coach Odom, you made it special tonight with the game, so let's bring in Coach Odom's comments. Jake Ellis, again, got this up at the Spectrum, and so let's see here if we can get this working the right way it's supposed to work. Here we go. Now it's finally working. There's Coach Odom, so let's go up to the Spectrum.
Okay, hey Coach Ryan Odom, thoughts on this?
Yeah, obviously a big-time game for us. We have so much respect for San Diego State and Coach Dutcher, his staff, and their program in general. And we knew it was going to be, a hard-fought game. Our last time out here in the Spectrum, we were disappointed in a tough game with Boise. And, how the guys responded after that in terms of not losing confidence was really important. We felt like we've been right there. And tonight I think what you saw was offensively we got back to Aggie basketball and how we were playing a little bit earlier in the season. Less isolations, more movement, and better decisions. The ball was just moving a whole lot faster offensively for us, and Steven got us off to a good start with some timely threes, and some were open, which is they're hard to get, against San Diego State. And they're coming off, a couple of games in a row, quick turnaround. There's probably a little bit of fatigue with them. We got some easy baskets in transition, which they don't usually give up. A huge key to the game, obviously. 0 offensive rebounds for them. Our guys did a nice job, blocking out and securing those. And I think, our guys just made winning plays. They kept coming back at us. Bradley's a really tough guy to guard. I thought we made him work for some baskets, throughout. And when he's having to work that hard to get baskets, that can tire you out. And I think we had multiple guys guarding him. Max guarded him some. Sean guarded him. RJ guarded him a little bit. Steven ended up on him. And it was just a good all-around effort. And Bean was tremendous. Bean was back to playing the way that he was playing earlier in the season, free and loose and fun and active. I think as evidenced by the 5 assists, that he had. Obviously 13 and 13, but the 5 assists, I think I probably have messed him up a little bit in terms of, once we started conference play, trying to really force feed him. And, he and I have talked a lot about, hey, if it's there, like, we want you to go, but you also can be the creator for others. And I think as that last play happened with Brandon, it was a big basket, and separator, but, I think that's who we need him to be throughout. And, a lot of good contributions, from everybody that played within the game. Trevin was great, gave us great minutes in the first half and some in the second as well. So a good win.
Coach, you kind of mentioned it a little bit, but that ball was just moving so quickly in the game. You got back up to 19 assists, highest we've seen a little bit. San Diego State's really fast. Was that part of the game plan to just really make sure that ball's going all over?
Yeah, we wanted them chasing us, as quickly as we can and as quickly as we could get them chasing us. And sometimes it's up the court. If you're able to control the defensive glass, then you can take some chances early in transition. I think you saw that, early in that second half. The kick ahead to RJ and he gets a layup. Those were big plays for us. Sean out in transition, and then Brandon follows the miss or the block, at the rim. Certainly it's been a big emphasis for us, over the last, week and a half, and certainly following the Boise game. We've got, Ryland's been out. Obviously Brock's been out for a while now, and those 2 guys did a lot for us. Brock, was a guy who was going to shoot threes and one dribble, max, unless he was being pressured and had to get it to somebody. And his movement, his overall body movement was really important for our team, and he got other guys shots because he moved so much. And then Sean's got a different game. Max has a different game than that. They're more attacking guys that can still shoot as well, but that's not the first thing that they do. And so putting those 2 together and kind of trying to rework that a little bit and making the pieces fit, has been really important for us. And certainly we want Ryland back, we want Brock back, and hopefully that'll happen pretty soon. It can make us even stronger.
How big is what Mintz against some foul trouble early? It seemed like when he went out of there, it really opened some stuff up.
Yeah, no question. And I think the pace at which we were playing, he was having to move, around and put him in some interesting positions. Our bigs are hard to guard when we play like that. Brandon's moving around all over the place. They started him, I think, on Bean, and Bean's running around. He's like an Energizer bunny out there. That's not easy for a big guy to guard, in that fashion. And he's about as good as I've seen when it's set, right? And when it's set and you're trying to ISO and it's switching a quick ball screen, and you're trying to go at him, he can guard 1 through 5. And so we did not want to be in that situation. We wanted to move him, roll to the basket, and kind of see what we could create there. And we ended up with some decent shots, throughout. And he's in a spot where all of a sudden a foul happens because of it. Still a lot to work on, even though we were able to win this game. It's just one game. We got to get back to practice, and we have another really good team, that we're going to have to play on Saturday in Nevada. They're playing really good basketball right now, and it's a big stretch for us. It was a good start to this, 4 of 5 at home, for us.
How big was it at the start of the second half? Jeff kind of mentioned
that was huge.
You had, I think, 4.5 minutes. You score at the end of the first half.
Yeah.
They get within a point, and then you guys get it right back out.
Yeah, no question. And we were irritated. I was irritated at half because we got away from what got us the lead initially, and the ball stuck, and the execution wasn't there. The highest form of competition is all about execution. You can go back to the football game this weekend, right? And 13 seconds left, and they find a way to win, right? It's all about execution, or lack thereof, right? And a little bit of that, not to take anything away from San Diego State, but we weren't playing the same way, offensively at the end. And when you do that, they're going to bottle you up and make you look bad. And that little pocket during the end of the first half was really important for them.
And, and the coach is bringing up a good thing, and Sean Harrison brought that up at the interview right there. It was 5 minutes and 32 seconds, first half into second half. We did not score. But during that period of time, all San Diego State did was they got a three-pointer, a drive, and they only scored 3 baskets in that whole period of time, the same amount of time. So we had to be doing a pretty decent job still defending them and not letting them get going there. And then we kicked in with RJ, the drive, RJ with the drive, Bean with the rebound basket, Bairstow with a couple free throws, RJ with a three-pointer, and then Horvath followed the one that was blocked, he talked about there, and followed it in with that rebound basket. That's the 13-2 start there in the second half with them getting one dunk on the pass from Bradley to Mensah. So, he hit on the things we've talked about. Team effort, for sure. The movement of the basketball, we talked about how they really made an emphasis of that, and that's going to make us a better offensive team when we can pass the ball to other people and get the 19 assists. Haven't had those kind of numbers at all in conference play. Well, when you don't make baskets, you don't get assists either.
No.
And then the offensive rebound numbers, and then Mensah getting in foul trouble was huge for their defense, too.
All key factors, and all of them made a big difference. We talked about being able to overcome those defensive onslaughts, and you knew that those were going to come. You knew that those were going to happen. But I think most importantly, equally important, there were a lot of big things tonight, but equally important, the Aggies then didn't fall in love with the three-point line. We've seen where they've been so successful inside, and then all of a sudden somebody goes, "Oh, I'm going to shoot from outside," and everybody else falls in line, and that's when they've struggled. Tonight's it was a great example of what basketball is about, that it's an inside-outside game. And if you can make a few shots from the outside, you're going to draw the defense out a little bit. If you're making shots inside, it's going to open the outside shots. The Aggies have that great balance, and you saw it across the line. The only thing I didn't like is, why did he have to throw that in there about the Chiefs winning in 13 seconds? I'm a Bills. Really, Coach? Come on.
You've been around Buffalo way too long in your family.
I know.
All right, we still got 2 players who were terrific tonight. Has Stephen Ashworth played these last 2 games almost every single second out there against Boise State, covering Shaver? He gives up 1 shot to Shaver, and it wins the game. And now tonight, he's out there doing what he can do. So we got him, and we got Brandon Horvath. They have post-game comments as well. We'd love to hear your comments or your texts. Again, 339-0321 or the phone number 753-KBNU. More of post-game game day as the Aggies win going away against San Diego State, 75-57 tonight.
Steven, stop dragging your feet. Don't you give me that look. You've had a bad attitude all day. Now, look, I know you'd rather be with your friends right now, but this has to be done, and either you start cooperating or I'm going to start taking things away from you. And I think you know what that means, don't you, Steven?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Okay.
Watch it.
Bigger isn't always better. At Cast-A-Lite, you'll choose from a huge selection of pavers and receive help from experts. You'll see just how easy it is to do it yourself. For brick, block, rock, paver, and tile, go where the pros go. Online at castalite.com.
Winter is upon us, which is the best reason to have a clean and healthy home. This is Darryl with ChemDry of Northern Utah. Let us come and make your carpets, rugs and upholstery and hardwood as clean as it can be. Platinum certified with the Carpet and Rug Institute and Indoor Air Quality Association. ChemDry's hot carbonation and quick dry times will leave your homes healthy and ready to combat the cold and flu season. We're a company that you can trust. Call ChemDry of Northern Utah.
ChemDry of Northern Utah. ChemDry of Northern Utah. 435-752-6100.
Hi, this is Bob Larson with LSS Insurance. Are you confused by TV commercials telling you all that you're missing from your Medicare coverage? These national ads are offered by people you will never hear from again and are only interested in selling you something. Let us answer your questions and show you in detail your Medicare options. We're your local agent, here to help throughout the year. Please call 752-9493. Why not take advantage of every benefit available? Come see us or call 752-9493.
What do Valentine's Day and Jarek's have in common? They're both all about the romance. Jarek's Fine Jewelry has a great selection of men's and women's watches, earrings, bracelets, necklaces, and yes, engagement rings. Don't sweat it out worrying about where to get the perfect gift. Just come to Jarek's. Through Valentine's with any purchase, receive a forever metal rose, handcrafted by Metal Petals. Valentine's Day and Jarek's, they're both all about the romance.
Jarek's Fine Jewelry. Make it special, make it Jarek's.
The Aggies are always number one here. It's KVNU Game Day with Al Lewis and John Russell.
Yeah, the Herd beat the show tonight. Okay, how about that?
The Herd was the show.
They were great. The Herd was great. The Aggies were great. A team effort tonight, and it takes that to beat San Diego State. How about, they did win the championship last year against us, but the Aggies have won 4 of the last 5 games against the best team in this conference, perennially.
Yeah. And really, again, one of our texters earlier said, it's not like San Diego State played poorly tonight. Mm-hmm. They played well. Aggies just did those little things that get you the win.
11 of their 15 opponents had been held to 60 or fewer points. Like we said, it's the only other. We've scored more against them than anybody this year, 75. Michigan got 72. And the Aggies have not won a game now unless they've scored at least 70 points. Yeah. And so they got there tonight and made sure with, again, 75-57.
Yeah, 58-79. Huge key to the game was being the first to 70. San Diego State didn't even get there.
Nope.
And again, the three-pointers finally shooting above 20%.
Yep, great stuff as Utah State wins tonight. And Brandon Horvath, again, there was one little stretch of the second half. I'm thinking, oh, no, he went in the key, got it kicked away from him. He missed a shot. He got it blocked away or whatever. He made some huge plays tonight, and he's an Aggie winner tonight. Again, post-game, and let's go up to the spectrum and hear his comments. Again, brought to you by ChemDry of Northern Utah, one of our sponsors. They can remove 99.9% of pet odors from the carpets they clean with their, again, green-certified solution, hot carbonating extraction cleaning method. Delivers the deeper, longer-lasting clean, and here is Brandon Horvath.
Oh, man, just feels really good to, get off that losing streak, especially like how we were losing, just really close games to really good teams. We were in practice every day just saying we're right there, and we just kept pushing, kept working, and it feels really good to beat a really good team because we played pretty much all the really good teams in the conference, really close. So it feels good to finally get over that hump, and just got to build off that.
How big was it to get Mensa in foul trouble? He was in early. It seemed like every time he got out there, he was getting the flow.
Yeah, that was huge. Talked about it all week. Such a good defender, such a good rim protector. We were just working on pump fakes and getting up in the air and jumping into them, and it was a big, big part of the game for sure.
Obviously, when you guys shoot the ball from the perimeter too, that helps a lot. Mm-hmm. It's been kind of a struggle in conference, but I really kind of seem to probably open things up a little bit for you.
Yeah, for sure. We just had to get back to Aggie basketball we were playing before. So just keep passing, keep shooting. Eventually, they're gonna fall. Just go through a little slump. Just kept working on it.
When Ashworth went off the way he did early on, and that obviously helped him. Got a lot of that from the perimeter, obviously.
Yep.
Running out and all these other things.
Yeah, they're such a tough team to drive on. They got a lot of good defenders, so we knew we had to shoot well from the outside to beat them. So it was a good start from Steve.
Great. Something that San Diego State always does in games on watch is they establish the pace and they turn into a rock fight. you guys kind of dictated the pace and got out and run into that. Was that what y'all were trying to do?
Yeah, for sure, because we knew they were such a good half-court defensive team. So we just, every opportunity we got to run, we tried to run as fast and beat their defense on the floor and get easy buckets.
When they start to make a run at you a little bit, like they did a couple of times, how do you guys just dig in? Because they can get it going.
Yeah, when they made that run, we were just saying in the timeout, like, we're not going to let this happen again because, we've been up in the last, 4 second halves and lost them all. So we just, came together, just toughened up, got defensive stops, and pushed it.
Anything else for Brendan?
Yeah, one more.
You got it.
Seems like a lot of, games have come down tight, obviously, and ref calls have had some sway in that, and obviously it's a bit of that tonight, but it seems like you guys were able to rise above that. What was different tonight about your mentality?
Yeah, we were just sick and tired of, we don't blame it on the refs. We just, it is what it is, but we were just sick and tired of losing, and we just were saying nothing's going to stop us from losing tonight. So we just, had to fight through, toughen up, play better defense, less hands, not get fouls called, not make them call the fouls.
There's Brandon Horvath after the game.
Yeah. One thing about Horvath that went well is he had a couple of silly turnovers in the second half. And in games past, when that's happened, he's kind of disappeared. Tonight, didn't see that. Yeah, had a couple turnovers, but got right back on board, and really just all-around solid game for him.
He had 5 points in the start of the game when we got off to that fast start. He had 5 points in the 13-2 run at the end of the game. He scored 10 of his 12 when really we got to the fast start, got in the game, and finished the game the right way. He was huge in all of that.
And that's what you'd expect
and
as a
he can handle the
player.
ball a couple times when he get the ball outside. He took it outside and ran a lot of the clock there, too,
Yes, he did.
before they finally had to get into offense, too.
Well, it goes back, and we heard what Coach said in his interview, is we got back to the things that made us successful. We can talk all we want about not shooting the ball well from beyond the arc and having problems there. But you look at the way the Aggies played during that stretch of losses, and we got away to what had been successful. We're not going to be able to beat up a big man. We are not going to be able to out-athletic other teams. But when you play the smart game that is your game, that's where your success is going to come about. And you saw that tonight. And, hopefully it's one of those things that, it becomes just muscle memory, and all of a sudden the Aggies sit back and go, all right, yeah, these are the things that we need to do. These are the things that worked. And if they do, I think, we go on a nice winning streak.
All right, Jeff joins with us. I remember we talked to Jeff a little while ago. Jeff, hey, you wanted guys to perform tonight. Every single guy of the 7 who really played tonight for the Aggies ended up winning this game for Utah State against San Diego State. That's a big win, right, Jeff?
For sure, Al. Like, I got on some of the guys that, like Ashworth, Horvath. I mean, guys showed up and got it done, and I'm proud of them. So it was just a great game. I mean, what a win!
And to win
all the negative stuff, and I thought we were like 1-11. We're 2-5, and we have teams coming up we can beat. But if I heard this stat out, you guys talk about it, like our 3-point shooting in the first 6 games was so bad that it's kind of mind-boggling. But I'll stop and you guys kind of go over those stats again. And finally tonight we hit some.
Yep, we hit 10 of 24, I think it was, at the end of the game, and about 40%.
Yeah.
And we were going in, we were 19. We'd only made 21 total field goals from 3.
21 out of 109 for 19%.
To start, and tonight, and again, we did that. So, great stuff. And Jeff, I understand you were at a pretty good high school game tonight too.
It was the best experience I ever had.
Your son plays for Logan High School. They beat Skyview tonight in high school basketball.
That's like the Utah State beating the Jazz. I'm telling you, like, we went up there and my boy played great, but it's kind of like Utah State. They're finally figuring out their team. And we're 2-5 in conference right now.
And we've never had our team together. Yeah, we've never had our team together.
Exactly. Just like Logan, I went up there tonight. I'm like, well, okay, we'll see. Let's keep it within 20, not getting embarrassed. And the team came together, Logan High School, and they won. Now their whole, they beat Bearver last week. Now they just beat Skyview. So they got confidence, and who knows what they're going to do. But it reminds me of Utah State. That's why I called in.
Yep.
We have lost. We could easily be 5-1 going into this game.
Easy. Yep.
Easily.
Absolutely right. Yep.
And now, we hear our shots. It's a confident team. Nevada. I think we go to Nevada is what you guys said.
Yep. Nevada next, and then we got a couple of home games after that.
Exactly. And it seems like to me every time we play somebody, it's one of the best teams in the conference. We're eventually going to get back to Air Force in New Mexico and UNLV and San Jose State, teams that we should beat. So I really think in my mind that we're not going to win it now because we lost a couple tough home games, right?
Yep.
We're not going to win the conference in my mind, but there's no reason we're like not third or fourth or fifth or right up there. And then you go to the conference tournament and it's played out like Merrill, Cada, and guess we have a guy named Bean. That there's no reason we can't go to that conference tournament and win it with leaders like that,
And that's the way the team's been talking.
Does that sound crazy? I don't know.
The team's been talking that way, that they know they've been close. They're not discouraged. They showed that tonight. Jeff, thanks a lot for calling in. Appreciate it. Great night for you and for all the Aggie fans and Logan High fans, too, tonight. Logan High won 68-61 over Skyview. Green Canyon beat Mountain Crest 73-49, and Ridgeline takes over the Region 11 lead with a 57-35 win over Bear River, so they're 4-1. And I'll do the Logan Ridgeline game on Friday night from Grizzly Den.
It'll be interesting.
A couple hot teams going into that one.
Very interesting.
All right, we've got Stephen Ashworth to go, and we will take a break. And then, so we still got opportunity for callers at 753-KVNU or the text line 339-0321 as the Aggies win by 18 tonight. Game day, again, continues on KVNU.
The new year isn't the only thing we're celebrating here at Alpine Home Medical. This year marks our 25th anniversary, and we couldn't be happier to serve you. Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent. If you haven't shopped with us, we'd love for you to make us your one-stop shop for any of your home medical needs. They're always changing, so please don't hesitate to stop by any of our 10 locations throughout Utah and southern Idaho. Or online at alpinehomemedical.com.
This is Jay with Daryl's Appliance. What happens when an appliance breaks down and the cost of the repair is more than the appliance value? You're stuck with a service call charge at most places, not at Daryl's. With our exclusive Under One Roof loyalty program, we discount the service call diagnostic charge when you decide to buy new from us instead of the repair. That's the Daryl's difference, because service always comes first. Daryl's West on Airport Road, open until 6 p.m. on weekdays, 5 on Saturday.
S.C. Needham Jewelers is where Utah gets engaged. Couples throughout the state buy their rings from S.C. Needham Jewelers because of our low prices, extensive ring selection, and extraordinary benefits and services with financing available. Go to scneedham.com to learn more. We have many unique and beautiful engagement rings starting at $500. You'll find affordable engagement rings with our integrity price guarantee. This is why we are where Utah gets engaged. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 7. S.C. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block, at the sign of the clock.
Advanced Heating and AC, the gold medal winner in the Best of Northern Utah, is teaming up with Carrier Heating and Cooling. Carrier provides you with the best furnace units available. And now is the best time to buy a new unit before the weather turns Cache Valley cold. Financing options are available. Turn to the experts at Advanced Heating and AC and Carrier. Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning at 752-7272. Stop by at their showroom west of DI. Online, advancedheating-ac.com.
Talking about the Aggies. It's KVNU Game Day. Call 753-KVNU or 800-369-KVNU.
The Aggies tonight in this game led for 96% of the game, even though there were 4 lead changes. San Diego State led for 55 seconds, and the Aggies led for 38 minutes and 27 seconds, and it was tied one time, that 10-10 tie, I think it was, there in the first half. And then it was a bean cut on a pass from Z. Hamoda that broke the tie there. And then again, Shulga's three-pointer gave the Aggies the lead the rest of the game. Utah State wins at 75-57. Anything else?
Yeah, what are your thoughts on Z? We had one of our texters comment about that, 5-3-3-8. What's the strategy?
Coaches like him, and they know he's got some athletic ability, and I think we saw a little of that tonight. I mean, he's not quite where, he's not quite maybe all there defensively on some of the things that happen and things like that, but he's quick enough and long-armed enough. He's going to help. I really think they like him. They try to use him more and more, and he will help. And, he was not a deterrent there in the first half, obviously.
But you made a good point as we were talking about this earlier, is the fact also and we saw this with Coach Smith before Coach Morrill did this, when you get a group that's clicking, and it doesn't mean season-wide, it can be game by game.
It can be
you
game
want
by
to
game.
stick with that.
And eventually they didn't need to make the change. I mean, all of a sudden, I thought at halftime, I go, gosh, Bairstow hadn't hardly played. Then I saw he had 2 fouls in the first half, and so I see, okay, that's why he didn't play. Yeah. And then immediately, like, Shulga was in there doing stuff that he normally does, and then Dorius, of course, filled in very well. And then in the second half, here's Bairstow getting his 10 points in the second half to get another double-figure game as a starter for this team. And so now we're to this. But again, Jeff called, I think after the Wyoming game, when Ashworth, again, played like the whole game, remember, with all the things going on and stuff, and he didn't really produce a whole lot. But, boy, these last 2 games against Boise and against San Diego State, he's done a job. He gets a game-high 17 for the Aggies, 5 of 10 from 3, and that was all of his shots. He's shot, I think he's only shot like 20, what did I have the note here somewhere on the Aggies? He's only shot 39 twos and 83 threes coming into the game before tonight, and he shoots all threes tonight. He gets 2 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, only turned it over twice in his 37 minutes of playing time. This is a little bit low volume, I believe, but I hope you'll be able to hear what he said in the Spectrum after the game.
Coach talked about at halftime that we're going to make some mistakes, but, you got to make up for it on the defensive end, and so I felt like there's a few times that I let the pressure get to me and the physicality up top, and had some turnovers that I wish I could have taken back, obviously, but luckily we were able to get back and stop the ball in transition and eliminate some of those defense to offense type of plays for them.
Stephen, obviously that 14-2 run to open the second half kind of changed things. And then you guys never let them get closer than 7 points. I think they got there 3 times, and you guys answered.
Yeah, most definitely. We focused. I think the summary of this game was that we were able to take the counsel and the coaching from our coaches and implement it, because all these things that we're talking about tonight were things that our coaches have mentioned to us, like second half starts and getting out to a better second half start. And I think that was huge for the rest of the game. And the mentality the champions always answer was true. They got it, and they were fighting back, and that's who they are. They're never going to quit, and they didn't, but we were able to answer when we needed it most.
How long did that losing streak seem? You're not used to that.
Yeah, eternity, honestly. Too long, and every single time, every single night, we were just itching to get back on the floor and compete and show everybody what we're capable of. And I felt like tonight we were able to do that and get on a winning streak, 1-0. 1-0 next time, and got another great game Saturday.
And Stephen, how satisfying was it to break the streak against San Diego State?
It was great. We saw the schedule that we'd been given to start conference, and we knew it was going to be tough. And unfortunately, a lot of those games at the beginning didn't go our way, and so we knew that coming into this one against San Diego State, it was another tough battle that we had to be poised and ready for. And it felt great to be able to play the way we played against one of the best teams in the conference. And we felt like our record hasn't quite shown where we believe we are in the conference, and hopefully we'll be able to, stay dedicated and keep working on those little things to make sure that we're where we want to be at the end.
I think we also got a little bit of Brandon Horvath joining with him, telling about how long the losing streak felt and all of that. But Stephen Ashworth there post-game. Appreciate Jake Ellis. And again, he'll have a story at CashValleyDaily.com on the game that you can read, and there'll be some pictures and things like that in there, but appreciate Jake for getting that, and now you can read his article.
Yeah, he does a great job with that. We had a comment from 9315. First of all, thanks for the pre- and post-game shows. Love it being fan interactive. and we appreciate everybody's interaction. We get
Well,
lots
we'd much
of
rather
calls
have
and texts.
everybody's action rather than
Than
ours
ours,
all the time. We
without
get
a
rid of
doubt.
ours in like 2 or 3 seconds. We kind of become redundant after a while.
We
over
need to
there.
hear from you. But you know what? Jeff will love this. And I'm surprised maybe I haven't heard this one. He says we could use Splashworth.
That's right. That's Stephen Splashworth. Yes.
And, the thing you brought up, that stat that he's only had, what was it, 30 or so twos and 80-plus threes. But, keep in mind, he's such a smart player that I think he could have more. But as he gets into the paint, as he gets inside, he draws attention and he's dishing the ball off. Just, he's played so well and so smartly, and that's a great thing. One more comment from 4177. Aggies moved the ball tonight better than they have since December, and it paid off with a big win. We just keep
That's
moving
what
the ball.
coach wanted. I heard that constantly when I was sitting there waiting to talk to players or coaches after practice, just towards the end of hearing things. Yep.
And one more thing, I meant to ask you this, and I'm glad 5464 called in or texted in on this. There was a T on technical on the Aggie bench.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly what that was. The announcers, I only could watch the television here.
Mm-hmm.
You were there. They didn't make any announcement.
No
just the
announcement,
technical on the
no.
Aggie bench was all, and they shot the free throws, and they made 1 out of 2.
Right.
And they got the ball back after that. But I don't know. I don't think that it didn't look like Ryan Odom got mad. Maybe somebody said something. Yeah. Or maybe somebody was sitting there, one of the players maybe said something as the break was coming, because it was during almost a timeout.
Well, it was
happened.
Also right there during that stretch where we got the flopping
and they
call.
were changing.
So I'm
that
wondering
and stuff.
maybe
Yeah.
they were get a little too fired up, got a little too excited about the call. But sometimes technicals are well placed, and I think the fact that they only made 1 out of 2 got the reversal of the flopping call, and it just kind of helped the Aggies on their way.
Coach Odom apologized for the technical he got earlier.
Yes,
Remember, he didn't feel good about what he ended up getting there. So, again, our post-game comments from the coaches and players brought to you from the Spectrum by Cache Valley ENT. That's Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat. They can help both adults and children in lots of different areas. Again, with ear, nose, and throat things. And the Allergy Clinic, the Hearing Aid Center, Aesthetics are all accepting patients. North Logan and Providence locations. CacheValleyENT.com is where you can go. So,
hey, once again, our callers, our listeners, 4177. We couldn't even finish our discussion about that tee. Apparently, they teed up Dixon for protesting that sideline out.
Okay.
At that point, so it wasn't on Coach Odom.
Okay. Well, the camera after showed Coach Dixon pointing or doing some things after, so it must have been.
So he must have gotten a little too excited.
Last night, Nevada shot 47% in the game against Colorado State. They got out-rebounded by just 2. They had Cambridge with 23. Sherfield had 16. This Will Baker's been coming on for them lately. He had 11 with 9 boards. And they still have Washington, that bigger guy who played last year. He only played 6 minutes against Colorado State, though. They still have Trey Coleman. Foster played some for him last year. They've added a few new guys. Coach Steve Alford, of course, has been a winner in this league. And they led at the half 34-27 last night, get outscored 50-32 in the second half against Colorado State. So they did have 28 points in the paint. They only got 2 second chance points. They only had 4 offensive boards in the game against Colorado State. But, again, they let Roddy and Stevens kind of get going in the second half after they didn't do much in the first half and all that. So they are on the season now, 9-8 and 3-3 in the Mountain West, who we play them on Saturday. That's an 8 o'clock game, and it's CBS Sports Network again
so
for the game on.
Tune in there. Silly as it sounds, you look at the records of both teams. This is a big game. There are a lot of, this was a good win to get off that losing skid, but this is going to be a big game because, whoever loses, all of a sudden that's a lot tighter for the, we're starting to look at Mountain West seeding.
Well, you get a chance to get to be with Nevada and UNLV kind of there in the middle of the stack if you win this next game. And then remember, you do get Air Force and San Jose and UNLV all home games for the Aggies next week. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And, again, 7 o'clock. It looks like the San Jose game Thursday will be 7. I saw the Mountain West put it as 7. Utah State still hasn't said. And because the same night Wyoming and Boise are playing, I think the network, if there's going to be a network television game, it'll be that game. Because last night's game wasn't on, and it probably should have been Boise and Wyoming. It was a heck of a game. And then the Aggies would turn around after that's done and go to Wyoming and then get Nevada at home before they return and play San Diego State and Boise State back-to-back on the road. Again, you can imagine the Aztecs will be excited. We still, Viejas hasn't been a spot we've been able to win. And then you've got you finish it off after that with New Mexico at home, Colorado State at home, and then San Jose on the road before the tournament.
Are all our postponed games now rescheduled?
Yes, as soon as we get the San Jose game next Tuesday, it will be there. So Aggies win tonight. I think we mentioned most of the stats in the game. They had 19 from Bradley and 15 from Baker Mazzara. They were their only double-figure scores. They, again, did shoot 49%, and so did the Aggies, but the Aggies are percentage points 0.2 of a percentage point better than them shooting the ball. And again, a conference best, 10 of 24 for the Aggies from 3. A big part of this one. Huge deal on the boards. No offensive rebounds for San Diego State was huge in the game. And again, the Aggies beat the Aztecs 75-57 tonight. Who would have thought that you'd win by 18?
I'll take it.
I thought we were going to, if we had a chance, it would go down to the end and we'd have to find a way to make a winning play. We made winning plays to start the half, to finish the half, and to finish, not the finish first half, but finish the second half we did.
Super proud of them for there was that run in the second half. Aggies withstood it, didn't fall behind, didn't have to be in that position. And we heard it from Horvath. We weren't going to let anybody determine this game but ourselves. Well
That's
done.
great. Cache Valley Bank always with your final stats of the game. Again, the bank expanding and growing with their roots planted firmly here in the Valley. So we'll be back on Saturday at 7 for game day coverage. We'll be on after the game. John and I will. We'll have Jalen before the game, CBS Sports Network. Friday night, we'll have the Logan Ridgeline game here on KVNU. And so I've got to get just a few winks before I come back at 5 tomorrow morning to start the morning news. But it'll be a little bit nicer because the Aggies win tonight 75-57. John, anything else?
No, sir. Looking forward to Saturday.
Thank you for joining with us. That's it for our game day coverage of the Aggies. Thank you, fans, for joining with us. And join again on Saturday night for more coverage as the Aggies win tonight big over San Diego State. That's a great one. Good night.